Welcome to our event dedicated to Freeton launch.
Hello.
Let's give maybe 2 more minutes to other participants to come, and then we'll start.
Great.
Hi everyone, what's up?
So many people.
Hey there.
Hey Ron, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi guys.
Thanks.
So many people. Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
It will be a very hairy event, I guess.
Harry? Why Harry?
Because the barber shops are closed.
I'm the only one that shaved, huh?
Okay, so let's wait here until everyone comes.
Yeah, let's give it a couple minutes. I think there's people joining every second.
Hey guys, nice to see you in person.
Hey Brian, how are you today?
Hey, yeah, good. How are you?
Great.
Is
I
this
wanna
like
see-
a live stream or
Yeah.
on YouTube? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we want to document all that, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Why not?
Yeah, it's going right up on YouTube.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, it's a big group here as well.
Still people are still joining, I think.
So maybe let's start. What do you think?
Anyone wants to say anything like before we go?
Should this stream should be public?
It is public.
No, I mean, should we like post on the Twitter, advertise it a bit, or keep more private right now?
Well, I think if we just, if everyone will come, I think we will just, I don't know, it will be how, because I can talk about technical stuff, like what we're doing. And technically, we're going to launch the network. Now, we want to do it online and coordinate it here. So there will be some technical discussion here.
Yeah.
And I think
I
if we
mean,
bring a lot of people, I don't know.
yeah. It's just one thing. So we talked together with Susan a little bit before around, just some things around how GitHub repos are managed, code, and maybe key management, and some issues around that. I mean, maybe this is not the call to discuss that. Maybe there's a separate call.
Got it. Because I was approached by a few mass medias, and they are very curious about what is going on and digging me up quite often. That's why I'm asking you, is more public or private? No, let's keep it more private.
I don't know. I think we can discuss anything because the whole purpose of all that is a transparency, I guess.
Sure. I mean, I guess maybe there, maybe also Henrik, you can jump in here. But like, I guess one thing that has come up in discussions was just the need to maybe have a separate GitHub repo that is used, like a new GitHub repo, fork the original repo and use that as the basis. So.
Yeah, again, I think, but if you ask my opinion, first of all, I don't care. It's just a question of if we have one repo, meaning it's a little bit, you know, who is holding this repo and is centralized a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe, yeah, that's it. But it's a technical issue, really, because we have many. We have at least 2 implementations, and obviously there is a CI process involved, I guess, in terms of how, but then, you know, how this, you know, repos works. But, you know, people will commit to different repos with different versions, different, you know, different upgrades and stuff like that. So personally, I don't want to centralize the decisions about, you know, it's by definition should not be. So the validators will decide whatever version of the node they will run or any other stuff. So I guess it doesn't matter which repo it will come from. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
the point that we were discussing was just that as we are in this DAO, essentially, that we also implement governance processes around authority over code bases, essentially review processes. I mean, there will need to be some authority within this organization that decides on versions, because not everyone will have the deep down understanding of all of the code bases that we're eventually going to be having. Like the C++ code base at the moment, the Rust code base in a short while. So I feel like we should, since this network is at some point eventually going to hold quite significant value, we need to have good processes in place that also secure this and prevent mistakes from happening and funds being lost.
I think there will be like naturally developers, I guess, from everyone involved or someone involved that will form some kind of group like they do today in Bitcoin. I think it's very decentralized and it works quite well for Bitcoin. I don't know, of course.
Let's. I think we're good on participants. I think maybe let's just go ahead and start with a formal introduction of what this is, and let's keep maybe the tech talk to a little bit later. Let's just sort of make an introduction of what we are, what we're doing, so that everybody is aware.
Let me cut you off. Actually, we're waiting until the node builds, so I'm kind of trying to.
Oh, I see.
To win some time.
We're being slick. I gotcha. All right. All right. And then you're gonna work. And okay, just make it formal. All right. All right. Let's talk about today's day. Let's talk about the weather then. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. No, it's fine. Not that. Joking. So I don't know who wants to talk about the launch. Brian, do you want to make an intro, or anyone? Can you like do that? Maybe.
I mean, I can say like a few words. I guess from our perspective, what we find exciting about this is, you know, you've had so many networks launch, and you know, maybe one went from having, you know, Bitcoin or the proof of work chain, right, where there was no tokens distributed at launch, to like Ethereum with like an open fundraiser, and then you had Cosmos and some others also, and then, you know, time we've gone to the place where almost all tokens tend to be held by investors, or and so I think one thing we find very exciting about this is just like launching a network in a different way, that's maybe more community driven, more by validators and developers. And then the other thing is, I mean, I thought about blockchains for a long time as kind of DAOs. You can think of Bitcoin in that way. You can think of Ethereum in that way. You know, in more newer blockchains, you often do have like some explicit community fund or on-chain treasury mechanisms. But so in Cosmos, like there is a community pool, and you know, there's some other blockchains like Dash that have used this maybe more extensively and for longer. But still, those are kind of relatively smaller things so far. So one of the experiments that's really cool here is to actually have like the vast majority of tokens in that. So I think if we manage to get this to a point where this works well and can fund efficiently development, people, anyone contributing to the project, I think that would be super exciting and could really sort of pave the way for like a different way of launching and creating decentralized networks. So that's definitely one of the big things we were excited about here. And of course, it's all a big experiment. I think, you know, if we sort of seen, okay, even technically, right, there's lots of stuff to do. And so I think also from that perspective, one of the things that, you know, we discussed before that's important is maybe not like rush too much. I mean, it's good to be fast, but it's not necessarily good to rush because these things take time, right? All of these networks take time. And so I think it's also important that, you know, maybe we change listings that, you know, while the software is early on, while there's, you know, test nets and there may be rollbacks, right? That's correctly been pointed out. Hopefully there's no exchange listings, right? Until those things are sorted out, right? And until that's really at the point where the network is stable and, you know, secure. So, but yeah, it's exciting experiment and look forward to seeing how we can all make this work together.
Yeah, great. Maybe I'll share a screen so we get a little bit like, I don't know, whoever is watching that will understand more maybe. I just show the website. There is a website called freeton.org and which explains about the idea behind this launch. And there is a declaration of, it's called this Declaration of Decentralization, and anyone can sign this, like absolutely anyone. You're welcome to join. Of course, you need to read the declaration. You know, I don't want to read it loud now, but it basically says that the Freeton blockchain should be launched, and the community of people, independent validators, has decided to launch this network. All the signatures of the first signatures on the declaration and the first validators on the network is listed here. Like you can go and see, like all of us is here, and it's quite long list. There are also the addendums to the declaration, which are these pieces that everyone signed to agree upon. It's really a social agreement on what we are doing and how we ensure the decentralization. There is also a roadmap here, and this is the three stages of the launch. They're described here in details. First, Raging Bull, Rumble, Fish, and Fight Club, and these are the first incentivized test network, and then beta network, and the main network. And the idea, and you know, we will do it today. Hopefully, everything goes smooth. We will start the network, and if nothing catastrophic happens to it on the first stage, sorry, it will become just a main network. I guess that's it. So should we start? I don't know. Let's ask our DevOps guys.
Yeah, maybe I think we should start. You know, I mean that we spent a lot of time. I mean to prepare like the launch, And I mean, it's great that we made this decision to launch the network by community, to find great people, to do it together, and to do it now. And I mean that maybe after the launch, we'll have something like AMA, where we will answer some different difficult questions about the network. Why we are doing that? I mean, you already mentioned the declaration, and that any with the same values can also sign the declaration with us. Also, what is it free tone? I mean, what is the difference between Telegram Open Network and free tone? And I mean, and what we are going to do next after BetaNet? Maybe we will show a roadmap and some other stuff. So are we ready, Mitya?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's ask Artyom. Is he here? Actually, like what is happening now is that we're checking the zero state. The zero state is the Genesis block configuration that everyone who send us their keys from the initial validator set, we now need to be sure that the zero state is correct. We had run a dry run network just a few hours ago, so we now need to clean up and do that. So I have asked Tom to join and to
Hi,
share
everybody.
his. Oh,
I'm
hi
here.
there. Yep.
Yeah. So just last preparations. So right now, as far as I see, we requested to send us some pre-init configuration files. These files we will put into the zero state, and then this zero state, upon generation during network deployment, we will send to everybody to use to bring up the network. So actually, we need kind of threshold amount of nodes started to bring up the network. Right now, as far as I see, so let me share my terminal. One moment. So as far as I see now, we have 16 nodes. Please double check with your DevOps representatives whether everybody has sent us the pre-init configuration files. So generally, regarding to what will be if you haven't sent us these configuration files. So pre-configured wallets, what we discussed before that, and their keys, they are already in the zero state configuration files. But to put your node validator into the initial validator set until first elections, we will need these configuration files. So if you miss this, this is actually not critical. You will just be able to join to the election process upon next elections, which will be about 9 hours since network start. So I think everybody. So yeah, so some last minute sense. Let's wait a couple of minutes to get. By the way, yeah, good idea. Please check on the shared screen that your files are listed. Yeah, we found one missed one. Okay. So wait for a couple minutes to let everybody to check. Some comments regarding next steps. We will start the network deployment script. On our side, we have 13 initial validators. These validators will kind of generate some initial information based on the pre-init files you send us. So it actually generates zero state configs and network config. We will send this back to DevOps.
Artem, can you show the zero state file?
Actually, sure. One moment.
It's a binary file. I don't.
No, I mean the one that is script, of course, yeah. The script. Yeah, sure, not the file. Yeah. Let's see some assembly code.
This is the heart of this run. Zero state script.
Okay, here we. I think the most interesting part is not the zero state itself, but part with initial wallets, yeah?
Yeah, of course, configuration wallets, yeah, which is done according to the declaration distribution of tokens. So this is quite unique because we thought that we need to go as decentralized as possible from like first minute of the launch, and that's what we're trying to do here. And I don't know if anyone else in terms of blockchains had this challenge before, but we had to start a proof of stake, network decentralized as decentralized as possible from the first minute it launches. So the idea here is, as you can see, there are validators, initial validators set, which whoever sends the key, and of course, people will join during the first run. But you can see that there are also givers, and can you actually? Yeah, look at the. Can we look at the
This is wallets, all the wallets. So you can see here 13 wallets, our 13 our wallets. So it's the same amount but split it among them. Here, your wallets, and we have some pre-configured givers.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Can you show the givers? Yeah. So we have a referral giver which is holding the 85% of tokens, and then we have a developers giver which is holding 10% of tokens, and we have validators giver which holds 5% of tokens. They're of course not exact because some of the tokens were already distributed between validators and some developers, and this what you saw before. So even people who are not yet joining the validation, they can claim their tokens by deploying the multi-signature wallet to the addresses that were provided. And they are all, of course, you can see this this file will be published on the network as well. Thanks, Tom. Yeah. Okay. And if you have any questions, yeah, just shoot.
Yeah. Any questions are welcome. We were just checking with some final guys regarding to pre-init configs. Okay, I think we can start. So again, if anybody for some reasons just missed this pre-init steps, it should be okay. You will be able to join later. Your initial wallets are in place. So okay, let's start. So I'm again will share my terminal. Okay. So let's start. Ready?
Ready, steady, go.
Move on.
Okay, now let's wait for about 20 minutes. At some point, zero state archive will be generated. I will send it through Telegram to all the DevOps engineers. They should perform some steps according to the instruction. I believe everybody is aware. What is that? You need to install this zero state, start run script, and then you will see, and then there will be kind of infinite loop in our site. Our 13 nodes will wait for additional nodes. We need kind of some threshold amount of nodes to start the actual network, to generate the first block. So we need not all the validators, but some reasonable amount. So right now it's just deploying. There are some cleanup steps. Maybe some quick notes. We have some Dockerized infrastructure internally. Right now we publish some scripts, some base reference scripts. In the future, we were planning to expose our work, what we currently use for community, so you will be able to use it, I believe. So
So now I think we have to, yeah, like we'll have to wait, and there is a work that validators DevOps need to do now, right? So.
At some point. So at some point where we initialize our validators, generate zero state, we will send an archive file to all the DevOps engineers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we will be here. So and by the way, if you guys, so yeah, let's maybe have some, I don't know if anyone has questions or anything like that. Maybe that's the time to ask them before the first block is generated.
Maybe some comments regarding to upon a start. Actually, there is still some amount of work to be done. We need to prepare to first by first elections. So until first elections, our validators are kind of initial ones. So they're working as usual validators. For election process, there is a special process. There is a special scripts for that. You need to make some additional operations with wallets. I think DevOps engineers is also started to try these procedures. And during this 9 hours time frame, you need to make sure that everything works fine in your deployment with regard to the node is operable, validator script is running. So if you have any issues, just report them in the channel. I would encourage you to report this in the channel, not directly to me, just to share some knowledge among the community. Because often there are the same issues appeared. on different deployments.
Okay. I'm reading the, I don't know, I'm reading the YouTube and the people asking questions there. Like, I can entertain you meantime. Maybe. I don't know. So is it forked? That's a very good question about forking. First of all, I think forking is encouraged. If you talk about software forking, that's the essence of Free Foundation. So I don't know, Brian, do you have a view on that maybe, or someone else? Is it fork? Or can we fork something that does not exist, like if there is no mainnet? Anyone has a view on that? I don't know. I mean, for me, I can only talk about me. I mean, if the network would be launched and could be launched, then I would never participate in such a thing. That's from my perspective. The problem is that it is not launching, and there is a great technology and great idea behind this technology, which is kind of not realized, I guess. So
yeah, Mitya, maybe I will ask some questions. So why are you doing that? I mean, I can tell why I am doing that, but can you tell me why are you launching the network? Why are you launching free Tom? Mitya?
because the software cannot be censored. It must be used. It must go to the world. Great work by Nikolai Durov and the team. It just must be used, and that's why I joined.
Yeah, so as I know, like you personally did a lot in this ecosystem, and also you developed with a team a Rust node. Is it now open sourced?
Yes.
As I know a lot of people. Yes. So
yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. First of all, we just open sourced that. I'm seeing some chats that with the repository. As we said, it's under Apache 2.0 and coincide with our joining Free Software Foundation. And we're also in talk with other foundations, open source foundations, to join to promote the community around actually Tone software. It's not about our code only; it's about the Toad code in general, because it's the same protocol, right? So we're all implementing the same thing, which is specified, described by Nikolai Durov in his writing. So it's we are all doing the same protocol. Now, there is one part which is not open sourced yet because we didn't finish yet. So we released the full node. We didn't release the consensus part yet, and that's in heavy debugging now. And hopefully that will be released like in over maybe couple of weeks time, just after testing basically. Other than that, yeah, and that will also be released in open source, obviously, and the Apache 2.0 license. There are many other components that we're releasing today as well, under different free software licenses. But yeah, that's not related to the launch exactly. It's just that we felt that we cannot participate in this launch without actually, making our software free.
Yeah, great. And I mean that I joined this network, I think, because of the values. I mean, it's a difficult time for everyone now. We are living in different countries, and it's the same situation everywhere. Our rights, that the government try to close the borders because of coronavirus, of course. but it's only part of the problem. That maybe we will never back to the life as it was before coronavirus, and governments push our privacy, so and other stuff, and that's also one of the reasons why we are together now. I mean, to launch in the network that can help us maybe in the future, in the long future, not now, but to write code that will be distributed on this blockchain and give us another type of regulation, maybe, I mean, technology regulation that and new type of application that can help with our rights. I mean, to be transparent as an application, that they don't use our private data and some other stuff. So I mean, the Ton can be one part of this stack, new technology stack that can help us. Also, you know, I mean, the second part is that this technology is really powerful. I mean, that we don't have a lot of blockchains that's working with sharding now. I mean that in decentralized blockchain, as I know, NIA launched 6th of May, but they have only 4 foundation nodes. Yes, for now, yes, it's a good project, yes, but still. And also Freeton will be run by many validators, and it will be a beta net, so you already can develop some application. It has sharding and it can scale for 1 million users. And I mean, if you compare like Ethereum deliver a computer and Bitcoin was a calculator, so I mean, the open network can be like a supercomputer, so it's really much more powerful. And Mitya, do you want to tell us some more information about technology? I mean, maybe, and also, yes, why I joined this network, because we have a core team. I mean that Ton Labs as a core team, I mean that they can develop the code base and they developed Rust node. And it's cool that like this project has two different implementation in C++ and Rust. Maybe you can tell us more about technology stack, how it's work, when we can make first steps, and maybe some guys who won the contest can already deploy some application.
Well, first of all, again, I want to emphasize that we're not the core team for the Ton protocol. The core team is definitely Nikolai Durov team. We are developing.
Yeah, I mean that for Rust node. I mean, you're like
for Rust node for sure. Yes.
Somebody, yes, if I misled. Okay.
Yeah, Rust node was developed from the from the ground up by our team. So in this regard, yes, we will of course support the Rust node. In terms of technology, I think, well, what to say? I mean, like a lot of people trying, like, okay, in today's blockchain world, like it goes like this. Okay, we cannot scale the proof of work, just unscalable, as you all understand. Now, how can we scale so it supports, and why do we need to scale actually? Because Bitcoin says we don't need to scale, doesn't matter. It takes 10 minutes. Okay. And it works. And it works for them because they are like a store of value. I think I don't know, for me, the Bitcoin is a store of value. Is a story. And for the store of value, I mean, you don't need to move gold every 10 milliseconds. So it works pretty well, actually very well for the kind of gold kind of store of value. But if you want to give people some ability to interact with the blockchain, do stuff like what they do today on normal computer, like on using backend, application on the web, for example, with the same speed, Like you cannot do it on Bitcoin. And actually you cannot even do it on Ethereum because you need to wait like, whatever, 17 seconds, 13 seconds for the block. That's not gonna fly if you want to build application which users really would love to use. Because when a user today is really spoiled, like imagine a computer where you hit the button and then wait for 10 seconds. You will not do that. Every time you hit the button, you need to wait 10 seconds. Not going to happen. And also, one more technical thing is like it's a one program, actually, like one program, you're interacting with one smart contract, and it takes you, this amount to get the final result. What if there are several smart contracts in a row? Like today in DeFi, you have a compound, like you can like put some money in collateral, give some loan to someone, and this someone gives the loans to someone else and use it as a collateral for something third, fifth, and so on in a row. Now imagine, and every time you need to wait for a block to do this. Of course, then they have a flash loans. What a surprise. Anyway, I think if you want a blockchain really performant, then you have two choices, I think. One choice is what Solana is doing, which is taking basically one chain and make it as fast as possible. Really like as fast as the mobile 5G network works, something like that. That's exactly what Solana uses all the time as an explanation. Well, I have like a time division multiplexing, something like that. And this is one approach. And that's why Solana is saying no sharding, because sharding doesn't work. Again, that's why we didn't want to do sharding, because it's a scientific problem. It's really heavy to do. It's a heavy to do. And then there are Ethereum 2.0 projects, and then now Near project that tries to do sharding, and it doesn't work. Meaning up until now, like it doesn't really work. Near has started its network, which they call mainnet, with 4 nodes and proof of authority consensus. I mean, okay. And Ethereum 2.0, well, I don't want to. Again, all great projects, great design, absolutely great experiments. I'm not trashing anyone. I mean, really, but the difference with Ton is that we're now starting a network of how many, like 20, 30 validator nodes around the world, works with sharding. We have stress tested this network for last couple of months, really heavy stuff. And we're not in the it's a very beginning of the technology, of course, but it's already like, it already works. And you can actually create applications that work like if you would do that on, on Amazon Cloud or on Google Cloud or whatever, right? So I think that this is I think for me, this is the first and the most important basis for everything else. And of course, on top of that, on top of the fast blockchain, you can actually build applications, and we have created many tools trying to make it really easy to do this, to create these applications. You can create these applications that will then draw on all of the blockchain's kind of strengths, like censorship resistance and fault tolerance and so on and so forth, right? So for me, that's it.
How about at this point, we go and try to answer some of the questions that are being posted on YouTube. So if that's okay with everybody, I'm just going to go through some of these, and the ones I can answer myself, I will. The more technical ones, I'll field to whoever can answer them. So we're getting a question from Anton Lapin. Mainnet from Ton Labs without investors? Yes, we're launching it as a community. There's no reason for investors. So Free Ton is basically developers, validators, people who promote, referral givers, and we all came together because we're all very interested in basically making this thing work. So there's no need for investments. The only investment we would like is the investment of time. from everybody who wants to see this thing work. So we're looking for other validators, we're looking for other developers, we're looking for other people who believe in what this was meant to be from the beginning to help us achieve the goals that are in the Declaration of Decentralization, which you could look at on the freeton.org site. Let's move on. What about capitalization? Somebody want to handle this question? Am I coming in clear?
Yeah. Just people are looking at the, I think, green screen. I don't know.
So talk about capitalization a little bit.
You want me to talk about capitalization or someone else?
Anybody.
I can speak about capitalization. I think the capitalization now is 0. I mean that it doesn't have, I mean, anyone can launch the network. If anyone with some experience, yes. And it depends on the next steps, how these tokens from the givers will be distributed to, yes, and if it will be some value in the network, some application inside, then maybe later it will have a capitalization. But for now, I think it's 0. It's my opinion.
Okay.
Mika has another one.
Yeah, maybe I can add a few words. In fact, there are 2 components of how we will build the capitalization of these tokens. The first one is, of course, cases when these tokens will be applied. I don't know if they will be used for payment for different services, I don't know, in games, in different advertising services or whatever. And the second thing is how a person can obtain these tokens after the launch. So, and it's our role to create these opportunities to buy these tokens as well. What will be the price is a good question, because everyone remember that when any coin launches, it starts just fluctuating heavily. I think that probably it will be also the case of these tokens as well. But afterwards, as more cases come, it will stabilize and just become market regulated.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So Anton is asking a lot of questions. He's asking, what about TCF? Then he asks, are you considered rivals? Guys, come on. There are partners. TCF is just another community, and we are a part of it. They're a part of us. We're all friends. There's no need to try to create controversy where there isn't any. So that's a simple answer. Forgive me, some of this is a little bit, and a lot of it is in Russian, so yeah. It's very important to also understand that everything is decentralized. So there's no there is no us them. It's everybody. This is a community project. So let's make sure that this is clear. I don't want people thinking that somehow we've done something on our own. This is everybody's project. Let's see what else we have here. Lots of questions. Have you forked Telegram ton? Somebody want to answer that? I mean, obviously the answer is no, but does somebody want to answer that?
We didn't really fork anything. We built from the repository, which is available. It depends. I mean, I think people are using the word fork interchangeably between 2 different meanings: the fork of repository and the fork of the network. The fork of repository is the basic thing how GitHub works, for example, right? Or Git protocol in general. you're forking and you're doing something. And if the question is about the fork of the network, then there is no network to fork. So like, how could you fork a network which does not exist? Does it answer the question? I don't know.
Hopefully. There are general questions like, how do I join Freeton? Go to freeton.org, sign the Declaration of Decentralization, find where you fit in terms of your interest in contributing. And that's it. Very simple. Freeton.org. Let's see what else. Is this a test net?
No, it's not.
Do you want to elaborate a little bit? So what's the difference between a traditional test net and what we have?
I want to add, is it a test net? It's a beta net. What is a beta net? It can be a mainnet if it will live in 3 months, you know, and if it will be destroyed in any way. The network will be started again from 0 state. So is it a test net? Not. I think no. And we have a beta net, and yeah. Maybe some other
beta net. Okay.
Maybe some validators can comment, because we already participated in many other beta nets, and I mean, it was a lot of interesting stuff there. And yeah, if we find some bugs and we can start again from the state, and the state will be destroyed, we should start a new network from 0 state. Yeah.
In other words, so as just in layman's terms, it's the main net without having had the button, the launch button technically for mainnet pushed, but it's not a test net per se. In other words, nothing's going to change between how it is now and when we introduce money, correct?
Well, unless something catastrophic happens, and this is a technical experiment. I think this is important and my video is off. Sorry. I think this is important to kind of realize that I don't think it's ever been done before, like what we're trying to do here. So, so things can go wrong. I mean, definitely they can go wrong. And this is very experimental technology, all of it. So yeah, it can do crazy stuff. So in that respect, if nothing happens, meaning nothing really catastrophic happens, then this network will morph. It will not restart anymore. It will morph into whatever, and there's only the point of decentralization, I think, that decides when it becomes a network. I mean, we have to write certain smart contracts. Maybe someone wants to talk about this. There are like a couple of smart contracts which are very important for decentralization.
Yeah.
Coach, do you want to talk about that maybe?
Hi guys. We are Mixed Bytes validators. And I want to say that this is, from our point of view, it's a try to run something stable, to try to build something on Ton network without the risk to have the falling network, try to build some contracts and applications, and we want to be, and all the validators are responsible for their nodes. We want to debug them and find the bugs. I think there is no blockchain without such experiments of community, and we just participate to be sure that we are preparing the infrastructure for mainnet, or maybe this network will become mainnet. We don't know. We just need something stable to build upon it and to look at this network and work with it. Thanks.
Guys, sorry
for interruption. Sure.
Yeah. So we have an update. As you can see on the screen, there is an infinite loop. This means that 0 state archive was generated. I've just sent it to Telegram channel. DevOps guys, please install it on your nodes and start the run script. So this infinite loop actually means that our 13 nodes have been started, and they are waiting for additional nodes to actually generate first block, and network will be up after that. So colleagues, let's run your instances, not instances, and
please start your engines.
Start your engines. That's right. Great. Excellent. Thank you. That's perfect. So the nodes are running. Let's continue with the questions. So do you have a community of validators, for validators rather, and how can we join? Yes, I mentioned if you go to freeton.org, everything's self-explanatory there. Please, welcome. Let's see. Let's press. Trying to isolate the more relevant questions. Does this use IPFS or something similar? I believe I actually received that question from another gentleman on a different call. IPFS, we talked about.
How deep do you want to go? That's the question.
Well, that's the question, right? It says, well, it asks, Kev T is the name, is asking, does this use IPFS or something similar?
Dear Kev T, you can definitely use IPFS.
Kev is in Kevin.
Sorry, pardon. Let me start the video. So you can definitely use IPFS. You can start your IPFS node immediately and connect it to the TON through like posting some links into some smart contracts to your IPFS instance, and then it will run IPFS. You can do it yourself. Please do it. We will be very excited, and anyone can do it. And yeah, IPFS is not a blockchain per se. Like it's a complementary technology. So so it can be connected to any blockchain, including TON. Please, do that.
Okay, hope that answered his question. Another question comes from Pavel Melnik. Forgive me if I'm butchering your name here. Should we expect more tons like BTC forks, Light Ton, Ton Cash, Ton Dog eCoin?
Anyone wants to answer that? Let's start the one.
Yeah, let's maybe Brian, Orel, somebody wanna maybe take some of these. Hello? Okay. Anyone?
I have simple questions. Maybe let's start with simple questions, or let's proceed with simple questions, not with difficult one.
So the question is, should we expect more tons like BTC forks?
Who can answer on that? I'm not sure that I can.
I'll jump in here. Brian's not on, so I can jump in. Yeah, look, anyone. The whole point is, right, there's a declaration of decentralization. Anyone can do whatever they want. The code is open source. It's GPL code. It's free. It's there for everybody. So anyone can create whatever forks they want. And we've seen that with lots of different chains, right? Like there's lots of forks of EOS. There's various forks of many different chains. So sure, it may happen. But it's not an issue, I guess. It's going to be competition to see who builds the biggest community and who can get developers and users onto the platform. So yeah, bring it on.
All right. Zhen asks, what about EOS?
We have EOS validators here. Maybe they can answer that.
Yeah, I can answer the question, but what specific about EOS do you mean? So it's just another blockchain.
Okay.
There is a question why FreeTon is better than EOS. I see on YouTube.
It's difficult to say what is better, what is worse. The main approach of the blockchain to serve some needs and to solve some problems. EOS was designed to be distributed computer to solve some more enterprise level tasks. Is it succeeds or not, time will show. Is good enough. TON was created to handle another type of the problems, and I hope it will be handled. So I don't think we need to compare one blockchain with another. but really time will show. If free Ton could onboard more and more people, engage more community, more devs, it will be better than anyone else. If EOS will succeed, yeah, it will show. So from my perspective, measurement should be in the users and problem solving, not just technology.
Thank you for that. Another question comes, why is Ton not open source? I don't know about Ton. Free Ton is 100% open source. This is a community platform. So that's that. Will Pavel Durov attend this event? Somebody needs to call him and ask. We can't answer that. Surf will launch and run on. Let me try for Ruslan Soleyanov. Forgive me if I'm again butchering your name. Surf will launch and run on the new network from Free Ton. Yes. I guess they're asking if Surf is going to run on Free Ton.
Sorry for interruption.
They're asking.
Ну, ты же будешь в этих. Постираешь, ты же будешь в наколенниках, поэтому не бойся.
Guys, please mute.
Sorry about that. Just an announcement. We just started our network.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Congratulations.
Congrats, guys.
Okay, all right. So the question is about Surf. Surf, this is something that is related to Ton Labs. So Ton Labs and Free Ton are not the same thing. If the question is for Ton Labs is a contributor like everybody else. So that's it. How will we get Ton crystals? Somebody want to take that? How are we going to get ton crystals? How are they going to be distributed?
Mitya, can you take it?
Yeah, I can take it, but it's all on the website. It's in the declaration. So in order to make it really decentralized, first of all, let me just again, the network has been started, guys. I mean, that's, I think, the most important part. The tokens are, you saw that in configuration file, everyone got the same amount, which is, I think, 380,000 tokens just to run the validators. Then all of the setup of this network was done on multi-sig contract, and the multi-sig contract in the beginning will act like a voting contract. We have 32 signatures, up to 32 signatures to distribute funds from like a 50% of 32 signatures to distribute the funds from the givers, which are holding, remind you, almost 100% of the network tokens. So so we will have to, like all of the people who are here, will have to vote on any distribution of the further distribution of the tokens. The tokens will be distributed to several activities, I would say. The activity of the developer, actually the work is just starting, right? We all realize that. I mean, the activity of the developer giver is to run a contests for different solutions that the network needs, and some smart contracts. And the first smart contracts, not alternate smart contracts like bug bounties and stuff like that, for all the nodes, for all the technologies that the Ton incorporates. For the developer giver, so the first we need is a smart contracts, and the smart contracts that we need at first are the voting smart contracts, the soft majority voting smart contract that the soft majority mechanism is, this voting mechanism is described in the declaration. Any of you guys who want to join and write this contract, there will be, of course, a contest for this contract. And again, the contest itself, even to create a contest, it's not, nobody will do that. Like we're not going to do that. It's you who need to do that, and you need to first provide a document, Ton improvement proposal or tip, and you will be able, like we will put that on the website, where you will be able to submit the document, submit the proposal, and then again the community will vote for the proposal, and whatever proposal wins, then the tokens will be allocated to the best team who will, create this contract. And the team who will create this contract will get these tokens from the developer giver, and the contract will be used actually, will replace the multi-sig signature and will replace the multi-sig wallet by this contract that will then distribute the following, the rest of the tokens by the voting of the token holders. So anyone who's holding the tokens can vote on this contract, and the funds will be distributed accordingly. There is also a validator giver, and there will be validator contests because we want more validators to join the network as much as, as the more is better. And then the referral giver, and the referral giver is the largest one. It's 85% of all tokens holds in the referral giver, and the referral giver distributes the tokens to partners who can come to this network and say, listen, we have a lot of users who we want to use Ton, free Ton, and we want to use Tons in our ecosystem, and we want to, bring our users to this blockchain. And then all the token holders will vote and distribute to this party to distribute to their users the tokens. That's the idea. And of course, there will be other ways to involve users and distribute the tokens from the referral givers. But again, this is not our decision. It's your decision. It's everybody's decisions who holds the tokens. Did I answer the question?
Yep, great.
Yep. Okay. Let's also, there's another question here from Ruslan Soloyanov. Sorry. Hang on one sec. He asks, who or what is IoT on Ton? Somebody want to talk about that? I think we should have Mateo here. Mateo, are you here with us? Or Mark?
I talked a few minutes about that. So IoT on Ton is a company that is created to build a network, global network of station, and the back end of that global network of station to provide short message information is being the backbone of it is going to be Freeton. So just in few words.
Okay, thanks for that. Sorry, my system's a little slow, so if there's a pause in between, just forgive me.
Sorry, Mark, can you clarify maybe? So this is the IoT wireless network, which uses the unregulated frequencies.
That is correct.
Covering huge amounts of actually of Earth, right? So you can, as far as I understand, you can actually buy a device and just switch it on, put it somewhere. You don't need any special installation, and it will, and then connect with a wallet or the browser to the blockchain, to Freeton blockchain, and then you immediately get this sensor sending this sending the information into the blockchain. Am I correct?
Yeah, you are in large correct. It's actually the first setup would be the actual network of setting up the stations that will be used as the receiver of the information. But in reality, the actual devices that you can use, they could be used for multi-purposes. They could be used for anything from understanding the humidity, if something is open or closed, if something is working or not working. So it's short messages of information that you can receive over the network. And as you correctly stated, the backbone of it is going to be Freeton.
Can I guys jump in and ask a question, please? I would like to ask validators who basically made this launch a few minutes ago, and congratulations, by the way. What's their experience has been so far with the code, with the process? You know, just talk to us a little bit. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, I can start, Alexander. So, I mean, it's not really, I mean, we need to run it a couple months to do like this feedback. I mean, that it's, no, we didn't spend a lot of time. And I mean, we need more time to test it. Maybe Sergey from Mixbyte can also describe his experience, because they also did some test of blockchains like Polkadot. And yeah, Sergey, do you want to add something?
Hello. Yeah, we tried to write some contracts, and we have some ideas to be realized on Ton blockchain, and to make them accessible to users. We need a stable network that is supported by validators. So we waited for a long time for any network where validators are responsible for running their nodes, and the network that cannot fall at any time. Because if we plan to develop something, we need to show this product to investors or to our customers. So that's why we participate. I don't want to open the ideas we want to realize on Ton blockchain, but we plan to develop something interesting. That's it. I'm sorry.
Okay, very good. Another question is...
Can I just update?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Technical update. We're starting the clusters, so you will be able to see the blocks and everything in the scanner, which is called now ton.live, but it's not yet synced. So some of you may see the instance which is working, and some of them may fall into instance which is not yet working. But in just few minutes, I think, time, you will be able to see it. I will show it on the screen once it's available. Sorry, Ron, for interrupting.
Oh, that's fine. So somebody's asking if the beta token has value. It does, to the extent that it will actually have real world value when it does actually, when we flip the switch to the main net. So there will be no interruption. There will be no problem between the tokens that you have now and the tokens that you will have when it's the main net. It will essentially be seamless, but not to be confused with a test net where you would actually have to redo anything. Again, like Mita had stated, the idea here is to test it in test the network under live circumstances. To do so effectively, we're basically in the main net for all intents and purposes, but without the actual value where you could potentially lose something. Did I say that right, Mita?
Yeah, again, the idea is not to restart the network unless something catastrophic happens. So the tokens right now, they are, as described in the declaration, the first stage is that as the network will, if the network restarts, and again, in unlikely scenario the network restarts, we hope it never happens, but if it does, we will come back to the balances we have in the zero state, and if some tokens has been already distributed from the givers, then to the last block, basically last balances and the last good block before the network crash. Again, I'm talking complete hypothetical scenario that something happens. If nothing happens, then this network will just continue forever, hopefully. Thank you.
Let me add something. My understanding is that the question was about the value. So the value is in the eye of the beholder. So if someone wants to buy tokens from you and there is a physical way, like to distribute them, to change the ownership, then they do have value, regardless of what happens next. That's my understanding.
Anyone want to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, just some thoughts, right? I mean, do they have value? I mean, I think so, absolutely, right? So this is basically a big experiment, and hopefully it will go somewhere. And then...
это вот бывший CEO космоса.
Sasha, could you please?
Alex, can you mute?
But yeah, I guess the way I think about it is it's a great experiment, right? Now there are these tokens. Maybe it works out, and at some point there will be a lot of utility. Many people will use it. Maybe not, right? Maybe it will completely fail and it will be worth nothing, right? So of course today we don't know which course is going to go, but still there's like some value associated with it, and there's no trading, right? You can't buy them, you can't sell them at this point. But that will change, right? At some point, exchanges will list them. I think it would be good if we get network stability first, but hopefully that's not going to take too long, and we can then have it on exchanges. People will be able, to kind of buy or sell them for whatever value they think is appropriate.
Yeah, great, thank you. Another question comes: where do we find the wallet?
I think I will share my screen now.
Mm-hmm.
We have a network, as you can see here, you can go and check yourself. So there are accounts, actually. You can see the accounts, and you can see the account distribution between the accounts. All the accounts. So you can check it here, whatever happens to the balances. So these are the givers, the 3 givers. These are the validators wallets. Again, we had to split ours. So this is our 380, which is basically here because we had to split and to run several nodes. But you can, count that. and we will also share, I think, today in the community channels, the actual zero state table, I think, with all the distribution. So, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. People are asking, where do we download the wallet? Where can we get the wallet, et cetera, et cetera?
I hope there will be several wallets, and again, you will be able to download, but I don't think you will be able to download that immediately because, okay, the network just started. So in order to connect the wallet, some technical work need to be done. So it will take some time, maybe days, maybe maybe a little bit longer. But of course, on the freeton.org, there are listed already wallets. But if you have any wallet that you want to connect to the network, please do. And I think I'm talking for myself, but I think we'll be happy to, everyone here will be happy to list this into the freeton.org website, and
Yeah, and I can propose also to keep subscribed to all the validators' social media, because part of them have running wallets, and for sure will be integrating the support of these tokens as well. So just go immediately to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever, and keep subscribed.
Thank you for that. So moving on, again, forgive me as I sift through some of the questions. Some of them are inappropriate. Do you plan to implement others contracts and writing languages such as PHP or JavaScript?
Great question. We are, again, you have right now, you have 4 languages that you can write smart contracts on. Language number 1 is FunC, and there, of course, there are 5th scripting language around that, which is created by Nikolai Durov and his team. And then TonLabs has 2 compilers, which you can use as well. One is Solidity compiler. So basically it's a modified Solidity compiler. So you basically can take, well, not exactly taking Ethereum contracts, but if you're familiar with it, Solidity by coding on Ethereum, you can learn pretty quickly how to, adapt for Ton in the Solidity compiler. There is also LLVM based framework-based compilers for C and C++, and so you can use them as well. If you like, there are no other languages as far as I know, and there are also different, front-end technologies which you can connect to Ton using that for the applications. And some of them are coming from the Nikolai Durov team, and that is that is the all the solutions around Light Client and TonLib libraries. And you have bindings there for I think for Python, for JavaScript, and others. And then you can also use TonLab solution, which is SDK, and SDK has bindings to JavaScript, Rust right now, and yeah, basically that's it. React Native, kind of native component also for JavaScript, and hopefully we or the community or whoever will provide more bindings to more languages. So I hope that answers.
Okay, several people are asking, including Karen, who says, we support the idea, we want to get involved. You say, meaning us, we say that we want people who are willing to invest their time. Look, all you have to do is go to freeton.org. It's all laid out. Look through, find where you can contribute and sign up. Just sign the declaration, sign, if you agree with it, of course, sign any addendum that would go with it, which would specify how you can contribute. You can be a developer, you can be a validator, at least at this stage. You can be a promoter. If you have the ability to promote, please, you're welcome to come in. All right, moving on. Sorry, PHP and JavaScript are not really smart contract languages. What say we?
Correct.
That's easy. So, says on the other hand, Solidity is, and there's a Solidity compiler for Ton. Guys, it's free Ton. Okay, let's just.
Sorry, Ron, that was an answer, not a question, actually.
Well, okay. Moving even further on in that case. Well, we're actually coming to the end of the questions. So let's see here. How can I receive grams? What does grams have to do with this? Declaration is signed. What are the next steps? Someone?
Get involved. I think get involved. Write some stuff. Contribute to development. Participate in the contest like a validator and developer. Also, there will be social. I guess there will be some other contests like social contests. So you can translate stuff. You can write some social stuff. You can run channels. I don't know, guys. Please help me here. I mean,
Mitya. So the first contest that we have is that it is a contest for validators, because we need more validators. I mean, it will be good if we will have 300 validators, and they need to start from testnet. Later, we will make an application form, and if it's a public company or if this validator already has some history, because they can run a validator node, and they will have tokens for validation. I mean that we have a roadmap, and the next stage of roadmap will be to develop D-pools. I mean, to develop decentralized pools for staking tokens. As you already mentioned, we also part of the development will be to develop this soft majority voting. The more contests we have, then more tokens will be distributed to validators, to developers, And yeah, and maybe some applications that want to also integrate Freeton to their application.
All right. Somebody's asking, what about Java for smart contracts?
Borja, do you want to answer that?
Actually, Solidity is pretty close to Java, and I started to write smart contracts knowing Java but not knowing Solidity. And at the end, Solidity is basically the language which has everything which is needed for writing smart contracts and does not have things which will get you in deep trouble once you start writing smart contracts in a language not designed for that. So I recommend to go with Solidity, and that's my recommendation for smart contracts developers.
So there you go. So you may have to spend a little time and get used to a new language.
And
but apparently
you definitely want to spend a bit of time before writing a program which you entrust your money to, right?
That's right.
Which is essentially smart contracts.
When will you provide the addendums for us to sign? They're available. Freeton.org. Go there, click on Declaration of Decentralization, sign that, and the addendums are all uploaded. So you're ready to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, can I ask, also Toli Kaplan here on the call, and what do you think about how we should develop the community? I mean, we should be very transparent. So do you have like any ideas how to do it more effective? Maybe to distribute part of their tokens to community in which way? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, first of all, I see that we do need to have an clear and transparent roadmap for this work with community. I mean, also communication with press community, first of all, and then users or other people who would like to join and do something with their hands or some operations in marketing fields. It can be everything. So, and I see that first of all, we don't need to run any simple airdrops campaign. Maybe the best way is to go by the line as it already did with the developers. So just make some contests for content creators, for marketers, and for maybe illustrators and other designers. So the best way to build this community work, not just an window to ask questions and get an answers, but to make community a real part of the project and to make this job also decentralized enough. It is contests, grants, and so on. Moreover, lots of blockchain projects such as Tezos Foundation and the Ethereum Foundation has this experience, these grant systems, and I feel that that's the best way to build real community work. Not, I shall repeat that, not just a window for questions, because window for questions, it's not about decentralization, it's about private companies. So that's my vision in not in details, but just a short summary.
That's spot on. Okay, a lot of questions coming in about the token. What's the name of the token? The official technical name is the Ton Crystal. However, in short, we're just calling them tons. Simple as that. Hope that answers a whole host of questions about what kind of token it is. Ton, simple as that. Is Ton Labs a part of the community? What does that have to do with anything? Yes, we are. Having problems with that. 6, okay. Guys, more questions. I'm at the bottom here. Let's give the community, let's give everybody another say.
Oh, okay. There are some questions coming, and let me just answer that technical one in terms of how you sign in the addendum. It's basically when you go to the website and then you hit the sign button, you will see the form there. You fill it up because there are no anonymous signatures, of course, in the world. So you state who you are, and then you just choose, and that you choose validator or developer, and that will actually be your signature of the addendum, nothing else.
And other designers. So the best way to...
Someone need to mute.
Okay, somebody needs to mute. All right, if I can just ask everybody on YouTube who's asking questions about anything that's not Freeton related, can you just save those questions individually? This is 100% about the launch of the Freeton network, period. Let's see, what else? What else do we have? Let's give everybody another 5 minutes to ask questions, and then maybe we can move on to either a more
Ron,
technical
you have disappeared.
questions. So
you have disappeared.
I disappeared, sorry. Oh, apologies, forgot to turn on my on to some questions from the press. Let's see. So we need tons to run validator nodes. Let me try to decipher this. So we need tons to run validator nodes. If that's correct, where can we get them? Is it going to be an airdrop?
Through the contest. Basically, you sign up as a validator, and there will be contests for validators. And as part of the contests, we will get, you will get tokens, and then you start your node, and in the end, whatever the contest will be, like then the additional tokens will be distributed if you win, or in a prize place, whatever. I don't know, because like it's a general. I don't know. Kostya, do you want to?
Yeah, I want to add that about validator contests. So from where is this token going out? I mean, that we have, as I understand it, the network has 3 givers contracts, and each signer have a signature in this, like in a multi-signature contract. And if somebody, for example, we have a commitment to give token to validators, it means that governance should make a decision and sign the transaction from a community pool, for example, from giver of validators to tokens to the accounts. And I mean that this idea is to distribute token by the signatures. And I mean that, as I mentioned, like it's important to understand and to be clear to everyone that the network price is 0. I mean, that we should start from this, and when it will have a lot of validators, when it will have a lot of applications, if it will have, then it can have some value. And I mean, for now, the idea of tokens to distribute them to different parties, to be involved and to do something useful inside this network. But it's my point, I mean.
Okay, anyone have anything to add to that? Okay, here's another question. So am I coming in? Can anybody hear me? Everybody hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. My video just froze, so I thought for a second that maybe I wasn't coming in. When will everything be listed on exchanges? It's a great question.
Which I think Brian answered like several times.
Has he? Guys, I can't follow every single question. There's several here that I just sort of avoiding. Yeah, it fully depends on the exchanges. That's right. Is only the testnet running on the moment, or is it already a mainnet? It is a mainnet without the ability to lose money. Let's put it that way. Okay, the app. Somebody's saying the app is not available in forgive me, Itanian store. Sorry.
Or the Italian. It's not available everywhere, so just be patient. Everything is ready. If someone wanna know, we're just testing it.
Great. Okay. Now everybody's asking questions very quickly, so just bear with me, guys. Sorry for the pauses. I have to read some of these, and my Russian isn't that great. So, will there be a unified global currency, cryptocurrency? I'm assuming that's the ton. Great, very timely. All right. Well, look. I think that just about covers it. I think unless somebody has a last minute question, I think we're going to turn this over to the press. Who do we have here who's got questions from the media? Do we have media here?
We have a lot of chats with the media, but they don't want to ask questions, I guess.
Come on, guys.
Like they're asking questions, but not on live. I don't know.
well, we'll bring them over here. I mean, this.
Well, I send links.
Not you.
We send links. Like I know people send links to this group, so I don't know.
People are still asking. So how do I buy? How do I buy? Guys, relax. We just launched. How many tokens will be issued in BetaNet?
It's exactly 5 billion tokens. All of it has been issued, put in the givers, and in the wallets of initial validators, and that's all the tokens, and the rest is according to the original specifications by Nikolai Durov.
Yes, Mitya, and we have already, as I understand, Explorer, when you can look inside, yes, these 3 givers and other things. Do we have it?
Sorry, again?
I mean, do we have an Explorer where we can look these accounts?
Yes, I already did that. Can do that again. Wait a second.
Okay.
Wait a second. So let me share. You can go yourself ton.live, and here are the accounts of the, and let's second. Yeah, so here are the accounts. You can see these are the givers accounts I explained before, and these are validators accounts. There are some developers accounts already. And I think maybe we may talk about that. Like, for example, do we have a Neil Foundation, for example, here? I think that's very interesting because Neil Foundation has agreed to develop zero knowledge proofs for Freeton blockchain. And so we're really, welcoming that effort. And we all agreed that that is very important effort. So over the next months, they will do the work that will enable ZKPs, ZK snarks in particular for Inton blockchain. So I think that's very exciting. And we have developers like that, like Yotonton for the global coverage of the IoT devices over the
IoT on ton.
Yeah, IoT on ton, which is, I just say it, Yotonton. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, everything is here in the accounts. You can, yeah.
Okay. We're getting some repeat questions, but maybe some folks came in late. So another question is, what is the main profit of the network for the end user? The main profit? I'm assuming they're asking what's the value for the end user? Forgive me, and it's Maxim Finagin, I believe.
My point is that the end user we are not targeting the end user now. I mean, they can also only like transfer tokens, yes. But I mean, the main target is applications. That this application can use it as a backend for the decentralized application. And this is the goal, to find these developers, to bring them to this blockchain and to look, will it be better than any other, and why? So from one side, it's community that should be large, and from other side, it should be a lot of developers that want to make their application on top of it.
Great. Who is qualified to be a validator, and what are the rewards?
Yeah, I think, you know, because we need, like, we distributing 300, I mean, for rewards for 300 validators, and it's better if they already have a public experience of validator, or they have some public company, because it's can be an issue if one guy will create 300 accounts and will just make a Sybil attack or something like that. So I mean, we need more public validators, maybe who already had an experience, but everyone can apply, and it will be like a governance decision. So validators will vote. Maybe some of the validators will know this validators, or it will be public information in the internet or in some way.
Okay, there are a lot of questions coming in Russian. Does somebody want to try to read these off besides me?
Anya, maybe you can do that? I don't know. Can someone do that?
What do you need? Like handle Russian questions?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I can check both chats original translation and restream on 4 o'clock. So, okay, let's choose something. Let's choose
something. We need the most difficult questions, you know? I mean, we need to be open to everyone. That's my idea.
Okay, maybe you see.
Will it be able to pay my mortgage by grams? I just had to say that out loud.
Yeah, as
Good
I
question.
see,
Don't know what grams have to do with it.
As I see, most of people interested in such a simple questions as when listing, when Moon, when I can take tokens, get tokens, buy it, and so, or how can I become a validator? And I guess that we should make it clear again, as it was said before, that all questions about listings and exchanges, so that's a question directed to exchanges. As I remember, we found it earlier. Okay, question. When Serve will be available, who can handle that?
Well, actually, let me answer that.
Ron,
yeah, go ahead.
Anton, I think that's best to answer that question.
I said it before, like everything is ready, like everything is set up. We see the result in our console logs that we are connected perfectly to the mainnet. Now we just need to test again everything and just send it to the store, got through the review, and publish it. That's it. It's very close time to happen.
Okay, so you can say something about 2 weeks, yeah?
I believe it's even closer, like maybe next week at the beginning.
Okay, ASDFQWER user, you have your answer now. And Super Mujik asking, where is the account dashboard, like personal account dashboard? So what about personal account or dashboard for user dashboards?
I think that's the same question for wallet, no? I think what he means by
depends what is the dashboard, like you need to verify.
Yeah, we need to explain, because people don't understand such details. So try to explain, please, again about dashboard and wallet and so on. I think it will be helpful.
So before we were talking about Serve application. So, well, many people believe that each blockchain should have its own wallet. And yes, there is actually a wallet for Ton. It's named Ton Crystal. And we have something else as well. called Surf, which is not just a wallet, it's something bigger to me. Like, since we are developer of that application, I can say that like it's not just a wallet, it's more like user convenient interface to interact with the blockchain. So if you know, like the blockchain is built upon the messages. And so we have like managed to present that application as a chat. So basically it's a messenger. It's a messenger with its chats, where each chat node is actually a smart contract. So each user can have its own wallet, different accounts. It can interact with bots, where each bot is a service. So it's actually not very simple topic like to discuss maybe right now, but like this application has like everything. It has chats, it has bots, it has wallet itself. So basically it's kind of that our like initial vision of what the blockchain application should like look like. And we're gonna like try and launch this one and start with it and see what happens.
Okay, and I have a question for myself, and this question, I guess, also interesting for other people who is joining translation this stream and who is here now. So the question is very easy. What about plans to have integrations with any chat messengers or other applications for Freeton?
I think I can answer that. Oh, okay, you can go ahead. I mean, look, we'll do it together. I'll go first. They're welcome to. They're welcome to. That's their decision, but we certainly will support their ability to do it. From a technical standpoint, Konstantin, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to, I mean, the guy, I think, asked about like Telegram or some other application. Nobody knows, I mean, will Telegram integrate any other cryptocurrency ever? Will they launch a blockchain by themselves, or what will happen? I mean that nobody knows about that. I mean, I don't want to comment this point yes, but can any other messenger or any messenger to integrate blockchain and to use it? I mean, it was built for millions of users, and yes, it even can participate as a giver, and it can integrate like this blockchain, but it will depend on the community. If community will communicate with like these companies and will have and they will be motivated to integrate blockchain inside. I mean the blockchain in a couple of months, maybe 3, will be ready for that integrations. Yeah, maybe some other people have some other opinions.
I think we have great partners already who will integrate Ton, right, Kostya? Like guys like, I don't know, if we have Simplex here, for example. There are some others.
Okay, so Freeton is open for any integrations to any open systems, which is who is reach or who is supporting DoD, Declaration of Decentralization, and so on. But the team of project don't have any exact plans on any applications. That's an answer as I can summarize.
Well,
right?
not exactly, Mike, because when it's like people asking a team. But we actually not one team. We have dozens of teams here, and each of these teams has different plans, different capabilities, different view on that. So it's like when you ask some question like that's very hard to answer, because then it's like, okay, I can only answer for Ton Labs, and there are some people who represents other teams who can answer for them, and the answer probably will be different. I can answer from Ton Labs perspective. Yeah, well, of course, we have plans to enable the integrations by other, other companies who need our assistance, technical assistance to do that. We're happy to do that. I'm sure there will be other developers, and we, as a Freeton community. We welcome all the developers to come in and join and propose. Actually, it's even more than just do the integration. It's propose your own solution, propose the solution, and write the improvement proposal, and then this proposal will be reviewed by the community, will be voted by the community, and then in the grants hopefully will be issued, and then you can implement the solution and even get tokens for that to start up. So I think that's more or less the answer. So it's not about there is no people need to understand there is no central body who is deciding on plans. We have just vaguely the plans for decentralization, and it's very hard to do because it's never been done before like that. So it's really hard, and we really hope people will join us and help us to do that, and I think that's important. So
Roger that, and so you touched very important topic, decentralization. So as all of us understand, there is a technical decentralization and social decentralization, and now you absolutely that's absolutely good that you said and mentioned that there is no central body who is making decisions. So, and that from my point of view, one of the most important ideas we should explain more. Maybe each of us can take a short speech about decentralization on a social level in this project and Freeton community, and say something like Kostya may say something more, and others also, because from one hand, it can become something not like a Bitcoin, but close to Bitcoin from a social decentralization point of view, if you understood what I mean, right?
I think it's not a good question what you plan to do with this network. You need to address this question to each participant. Some teams want to validate this network. Some networks, some teams plan to develop some solutions, and each participant has his own plans on these networks and his own hopes. So I think you need to address to each participant and ask them separately what you plan to do with this network. We plan to build some our ideas on it, and we need a stable network. That's it.
I agree with you, Sergey. Totally agree. I mean that to speak about the future, I mean everyone from us speaking about their own future, and but it will be some decisions and some governance how and what will be in the future. Nobody knows. I mean we are here now. We launch the network, and we need to do all the stuff. I mean to maintain the network, to validate the network, to bring users, and to different people will do different things. And we will see maybe in a month, 2, 3, what will happen.
I see good question in the chat, and also maybe difficult question. Can I, Chen asking, can I connect data from outside Ton chain with contracts within Ton? Do you have something like Oracle's concept? Who want to answer that? Okay, Konstantin, maybe you, maybe.
Yeah, I think that it's something about application layer to build something like Chainlink to Ton. I mean, they will be happy to join, and I mean, and
they already did, Kostya.
They already
Chainlink already. Well, I'm breaking some embargoes here, I think.
Yeah.
But the Chainlink has already joined, and they are going to build solution on Ton. We will have a separate on Ton blockchain, free Ton. We will have a separate announcement on that in coming weeks, I think. But generally, yeah, there, and but anyone can run Oracle, of course. Just do it.
Okay.
Oracle, it's a part of almost any blockchain application connected to real world. So I think there will be a lot of oracles in network. It's just required for anybody who builds something in blockchain.
Okay, someone else want to add something on this? Okay, that's it. Oracles will be live in Freeton network, and that's a matter of time, just a matter of time and a very short time. Someone's asking, where is Mitya? Mitya is here online on the stream. You can ask him anything you want. And another question from anonymous content. Hi guys, there will be the only 13 validators. I can shortly and briefly answer that no, there will be more validators, and if someone would like to provide extended answer on those questions, welcome. Maybe someone from validators.
Yeah, I can add. So it will be 13 initial validators because it was the initial setup, and then any who signed already the declaration and was in zero state, they can join the network and run validators. So I mean, tomorrow after the election, I mean, it will be much more. And also the next step is to build DPools. It's like logic, you know, maybe in different blockchains, in Cosmos, for example, or EOS, or other, or Tezos, different proof of stake logic. Usually in protocols, they have a delegation logic. And it's good that in Ton they don't have it, and you can build it on smart contracts. So you can build different logic like Cosmos or like Tezos. So different other, and they will compete with each other even. And the idea is in the first stage to build one of this logic, how to delegate tokens or not to delegate, how to vote for validators, how to stake with the validator. And already there is a proposal of DPools. And so after that, from validator point, you can join the testnet, and it will be an application that you can fill. And it will, after the second stage, we will have even more validators. And the goal is to have 300 validators in the second stage.
Okay. Nice. Someone else would like to make additional comments on that?
Yeah, let's get some more comments from all the different participants, please.
Sergey Vasilchuk, Sergey, maybe you will tell us something about validators and so on in this network, and future of validators in this network.
Like, I have experience in launching many different blockchains, and Ton is not first. And my experience showed that it's quite good that we start from the small communities, small but very experienced community of experienced validators. It enables us to move enough fast. But the next steps will be really to engage more wider communities. And I believe any of us, I call it like more Genesis validator, will use their social media contacts and working to promote others, competitors and friends to join this network as well. So technically, if we will calculate all the proof of stake networks and all the validators around that, we can easily gather more than hundreds, more than 300. So it's just a question of the time. So I kindly encourage everyone to like use their networking social media to post something like, hey guys, where any other validators are welcome. And if other communities and Ton followers will retweet and follow these tweets, will be easy gathered hundreds of validators for their marks. It's just a question of the time. So I have no doubt that we will have enough good validators to support the network.
Someone else? Thank you, Sergey.
Come on, guys, don't be shy.
Okay, maybe time for another question. Elvis Nepritsan. what are the specs? I feel like specifications for a machine to join as a validator. Again, validation. Validation is one of the hot topics today. So who can explain basic specs, or better just to refer people to the freeton.org website?
Yeah, I mean, it's better to go to website to join the channel, and we will share everything there. I mean, we already.
Okay. So Elvis Naperson, please check website to see specifications and rules and so on. Ron, do you see any other interesting questions?
I see a couple. Forgive me. Somebody's asking, do you feel that the Freeton code is ready for the mainnet? How about stress tests? I think we covered that, but let's just reiterate. How about stress tests that have been done, bugs, shutdowns, that sort of thing?
Let me take that. It's a complicated question. It's actually not very straightforward. There are no answers like that. When the software is ready, I mean, I never saw software which is ready. Software is something you always like write and add and debug if it's living, of course. We tried to stress test the network as much as possible over last months, and you know, they provided as much feedback as we could to the Nikolai's team as much as possible. And I think they did an outstanding work on the node, and just incredible amount of work on that, and you know, improving that. And they're continuing doing that. It was a release today already with the new updates. So I hope, really hope, they will continue to support and to develop that network and the technology. So, but that's why one of the reasons we had, you know, made this 3 steps process of the network launch is to enable this network to, you know, to mature, to incorporate the future developments right now, and to be decentralized. So to the question, is it ready? It's sufficiently ready. Yeah, I think it works very well right now. Is it free of every possible bug or you know, no need for any improvements? No, of course not. That this code need to be further improved, and there are additional features that are not yet there, and there are additional pieces that are not yet there. From our side, like from TonLab side, we want to release our like we're releasing our node today, already released, and we will release also the consensus part of that node, the validator, in like Leonid maybe can tell me when that we're talking about, you know, weeks time. So from our perspective, of course, our software is definitely not as much advanced as Nikolai's, but the fact that we're writing the second version of the client means that we can provide a very deep feedback and to debug the code even better. And for me, having 2 different implementations of this technology from the security standpoint is very, very important. So I will be fully like confident myself from my perspective when the both nodes will be like will run for a certain period of time, having the mutual stress tests. Then we will be able to find, you know, whatever vulnerabilities still are there much quicker and much more reliable, and, you know, help both teams to just you know, debug their code. And I think that's a great community effort. I think that's how the best blockchains are operating. So that's my answer. I don't have a short version. Sorry.
I see another question from Digital Signal. How do we prevent someone joining with hundreds of nodes as different validators, meaning Sybil attack?
The answer is simple: by governance. I mean, for now, you have a minimum stake that should have that validator should have to launch the validation node and to be elected. And to distribute this minimum stake, governance will make a decision and will look in the application. And if it will be public company or already validator who is public run any of blockchain, they can join the network, run the network, and they will have this minimum stake to run the validator node. So the answer by governance.
Okay.
By token distribution. Sergey, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I want to add, and this is quite synthetic question. So I see this many questions. How do you protect from the Sybil attacks and so on? But if we'll go in the practice, we'll see that being validator is not easy job. So you need to have engineers, you need to pay the servers, you need to have full tolerance operations, and try to imagine that you will spend thousands of the man hours and thousands to buy the equipment and so on, just to what? To be validator in network which costs nothing for right now? Come on, let's gather real validators. And I don't afraid any Sybil attacks. It just work. And if some attackers will join the network and try to crash it, well, it will be a good challenge. So I highly encourage anyone to try to make it. We'll see how it happens.
Okay, good, thank you. Another question. What is the main challenges for the network you see and recognize for today? I think also that we need several opinions on this question.
Let me start. So, as my experience show, the biggest challenge is mass adoptions. And what I mean mass adoptions is real people which are able to build something which will be enough incentivized to use this network. So I saw many technologies and many blockchains, like dozen and 13 of different blockchains, which are great from the technical point of view, but have no value because they have not real customers, have not real applications, and so on. At the same time, there are a few brilliant projects, and the key success of those projects is really community. Community, I mean, not the people who just tell in the Telegram, let's go to the moon. Community is the people who believe this project, who invest their own time and own efforts to make it more expensive, to make these tokens more liquid, to make these tokens more usable, and to implement it in their applications. And more people will be involved in this process. It's more chance to solve this challenge. So if I try to answer more quickly, community and mass adoptions is the challenge for any blockchains, not just the Freeton.
Okay, thank you, Sergey. Who else? Maybe Mitya, maybe Konstantin, maybe Alex.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great challenge. I mean, to run a network, as Sergey said, it's it's difficult. Yes, it costs a lot. You need to have a company to do it effectively. But I mean, to have a mass adoption, it's even a harder problem. I mean, you should have real community that will be help you to find like I mean, you need to have developers. You know, it's a two-side funnel. From one side, you need to have developers who will bring cases and will bring application for end user. From another side, if developer will build cool cool project and they will don't have any users for this project, it's also bad. And so from one side, it's good if we will have a lot of users, and these users should be not just, as Sergey said, people who try to say something bad in the chat, you know. Usually it's happening even in Telegram, and it should be like users who want to bring something, who want to do something. And it's the biggest question, how like these parties who already joined this network will distribute tokens to people to users who are doing something. This is a challenge, and I don't have a like simple answer for it.
Okay, thank you. Someone else would like to add his comments on this?
Oh, totally. One more point. Maybe we should do like more contests. Maybe like we should make a contest how to distribute tokens, and this is also to make a design of it, to do like an example of it. So
I think that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah. So if we will make it, for example, I don't have this answer, but if somebody want to help here, welcome.
Right. Next questions. Why US citizens are not allowed to join, or do they? Who is able to answer this question about US citizens?
I think I'm rather qualified to answer that question.
Do we have lawyers on the call?
Essentially, we don't want to provide any information that would in any way make it look as though we are somehow connected to whatever was going on with Telegram and the SEC. And this actually speaks to a lot of the questions that I keep seeing in the comments on YouTube. Listen, guys, I don't know how to make it much more clear. This is a community launch. This is a public launch by people who are interested in seeing the concept of free ton work. There's no borders, there's no nothing, but the obvious 500-pound elephant in the room is if there are US citizens involved, then people will just assume that we are connected to Telegram. We're not, period. And so at this stage, until we're fully decentralized and no single individual or company or group is in control, where there at some point isn't even the ability to answer that question. Can a US citizen join? Anybody can join at some point. As we're launching, this is not a, I've read here why there's so many Russians. I'm not even going to answer that. I'm not Russian, so you know, Sergey Brin is Russian, but that's Google, right? I mean, that's just a silly question. The fact of the matter is, we don't want to agitate anybody. We are a community of people who want this to work. We come from different backgrounds, different companies, and we all believe in what this can do. That's the end of it.
Okay, thanks, Ron. Thanks. Okay, what about ton payments from your white paper?
Which white paper? That's
yeah.
There are many white papers. I don't know. What about it?
I don't know. It's a question from Forceman, and I think we can consider this question easier without any white paper. Just about what about payment system inside Free Ton blockchain?
Free Ton blockchain is a payment system.
Yeah, and for
Using
payments.
blockchain as a payment system.
Yeah. So the payments will be available, and please next time make it more clear.
I know. Putting jokes aside, I think there were many solutions proposed for different kind of, I would say, smart contracts which implement certain payments mechanisms. Let's put it this way. And some of these smart contracts, I think, were part of the Telegram contests. And by the way, we are welcoming all the Telegram contest participants and winners to sign the declaration, and we also rewarding, we'll be rewarding all of you guys with, of course, tokens, tons, and we'll be very happy for you to, to continue what you have done, and to enable what you have done on Free-ton, and that would be really great. And from like my side, from the Ton Lab side, we will try to help you as much as possible, as much as we can to do that. And there were some payment solutions there in this contest. So I think, and obviously it can run on Free-ton, and so yeah, and well, you can write your own anytime.
Okay, thank you. So I don't see any new questions.
I see a couple. Somebody's asking, what are the specs for a machine to join?
No, we already
covered that? All right,
yeah, we already covered that. Maybe we should talk more with other participants of this call about like global questions around Free-ton, and give a time to our audience to generate new questions.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I already see some that are ask questions like, are you going to expand your presence into Central Asia, Uzbekistan, and so forth? It's not us, it's you. If you're in Central Asia or Uzbekistan, come on, guys, we're waiting for you.
Yeah, I think that all of us are in crypto for somehow, yeah, and for some reason, and all of us doing something in this industry. But we see that people not really easy accept concept of decentralization. I mean, not non-technical concept. I mean, social concept first of all. And as Ron mentioned today for a couple of times, or at least 3 times, or maybe more, there is no any we, us, and blah blah blah. There is all the people in community, and there is no any central authority in this project who can handle all the questions, and or who can solve all the issues in one moment.
Yeah, I think it appears as there's centralization on the call because there's only 5 or 6 people talking. While I noticed there's well over 70 people on the chat. That's an illusion. Guys, speak up. I mean, go ahead. This is your chance.
I think not all validators are good speakers. Even I don't want to speak a lot, you know. And
that's okay. It's informal. Okay. Don't be shy. Come on.
Also, I want to mention that we can make a special event for Russian speakers, because I saw a lot of questions about for Russian community, and I mean that as I understand, like we have a lot of developers who speak Russian, and also we can answer independently, maybe with 4 o'clock live stream, and to prepare other difficult questions, and to independently make an independent transaction for Russian speaking, maybe on Monday.
Yeah, I already talked with team, and we are ready to host a live stream for Russian community. I guess we need to make it clear who will be the guests, because will be much easier to have a timing, to have exact speakers and so on. So let's talk about that later, and maybe we will see some new ideas from community about how that should be done and when.
Yeah, I also just wanted to add real quick, there is a Spanish speaking, a Chinese speaking, and a French speaking community that are part of this. So that also should be noted. And we can, you can see
there is French speaking, I think, also.
That's, yeah, I said, yeah, French, Chinese, Spanish. And by the way, everybody, if you come from all different walks and backgrounds, we're happy to if you want to translate, if you want to help the community grow and in your region, demographic and geography and language, please, we're waiting for you. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, and as I said, I think we will have a social contest as well. So yeah.
Did we answer this? How much does it cost to run an app in Ton? I mean, I kind of know the answer to that, but I'll let somebody with more technical brains answer that.
It depends.
No, that's in you. That's in you.
It depends on the on which how your app is built, what is the app, what it does, what smart contracts, how they're written, what they do. There is no answer to that. They developed it in terms of development. Well, it cost your time, I guess, nothing else.
Mitya, I want to ask you, there was a lot of in the media about Ton OS. And I mean, it's like different question. What is OS? What is like operation system in blockchain? Maybe it's not.
Okay. Maybe this is
interesting for everyone, even for me. So how operation system is working?
All right. I will not spend too much time on it because that will go very technical very, very quickly. But we have documents. We have released the documents of the Ton OS on the docs, basically on ton.dev website. You can go and there is a piece there explaining why we call it Ton OS. It compares the regular operating system with what we called Ton OS or blockchain operating system, and trying to make the fair comparison between the two and explain why we actually calling that operating system. So I don't want to spend time on that here on this launch, but you can go, and if you have any questions, my Telegram, shoot me a question. I will answer. I answer like I don't know, 99.9% of everything that comes to me on the Telegram. We'll be happy to do that.
Well, we have regular meetings. There's just a one-time launch. We're happy to do podcasts. We're happy to talk to everybody.
We are making that. There will be, I think, a weekly meeting scheduled by Brian, I think, on we will have those meetings, and I think we will be happy to hold these meetings in public, of course. Like we can stream these meetings to YouTube as well. There is no, for me, it should be 100% transparent. There's no hidden topics. There's nothing else we want to discuss except for governance of this network, and this governance should be decentralized. So we will hold the meetings, and these meetings will be public, and you can join, and you can, if you want some agenda, I mean, we'll be happy to discuss that, obviously.
Somebody's saying they don't quite understand the contest for validators, what the rules are. I mean, they're on the website, but let's have somebody just sort of run through it again.
Yeah, I think Kostya is better equipped to answer that.
Can you ask me again?
Yeah, somebody is saying contest for validators. I don't understand how the rules work. Can you explain?
Yeah, the rules are very simple. It will be you just need to join the channel. I mean the validators channel. You can go to freeton.org website and go to the channel. I mean this website has a link, and join this channel. After, I mean, maybe until the Monday, maybe even early, it will be an application form. You need to fill this application form. When you will fill it, you will have like email with all details, or maybe you will write in Telegram. And so we will look to this table, and we need some information about the validator. Now, does it have an experience before, or if, for example, it's a public company? So because why we will do like this? Also, I think we can't onboard USA validators now because it's not clear in the regulations there. And yeah, so we need to make a review, and also this validators already can run a node in testnet. I mean that we will put some description also to the channel. So just join the channel and you will know everything, and it will be as transparent as we can do it.
Yeah.
Some people asking about actually I'm reading some developers chat. There's a lot of discussions going on, and so people are asking about validating like with basically what they're asking for, although they're not asking for, but what they're asking is a slashing conditions, and we don't have a slashing conditions yet, but as in the protocol. But what we do have is I will maybe show you that in a second. Let me see. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
as I understand, it's part of roadmap to develop the slashing condition.
yeah, the slashing, of course, the slashing will be developed sooner or later. But I cannot show you today right now because the validators are not yet listed on the TonLive website because there were no first election, never happened, so not yet happened. So after the first election, you will see the validators there, and actually, if you go to the validator address, you will see the blocks that this validator has validated. So kind of in a way, we all as a community will know what you have done.
All right, the questions, at least on YouTube, are getting sparser and sparser. Oh, somebody's asking. Let me just address this. Somebody's asking me specifically. Ton Labs are the best speakers here. Why are other developers silent? Do they really have nothing to say about the launch? No, of course not, Fortman. I don't want to make your question disingenuous. But the fact of the matter is that some people are public speakers and some aren't, and it has nothing to do with Ton Labs. I keep seeing this over and over. It's free Ton. For instance, I am interested in free Ton. It would be the same question that you would ask somebody if they're a part of Microsoft, but they participate in the Linux Foundation. What does that have to do with anything?
Yes, Ron, that's right. Better to think about FreeTon as and community of FreeTon as about Bitcoin Foundation and Bitcoin core developers, maybe. And I think most of participants will be agree with this position because that's a community with developers, validators, and other people who contribute in the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
So I see also we have here representatives of Kuna exchange, but I don't know who is exactly on the stream. Kuna, do you hear us? It looks like no.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hello. So you as a huge player on the market in the Ukraine region mostly, also joined this declaration, and maybe you can tell a bit more about why you shared these values in declaration. What do you feel about FreeTon project and its future? As an exchange, it's I think we don't have any other exchanges here, yeah?
Okay, not right now. As DevOps, I is busy setting up nodes.
Okay, you are doing much more important job now. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's part of the thing. We have mostly developers here and DevOps on this call because we had to start the network. And by the way, I want to update just on the what is actually going on. Like we're talking, but what is actually going on? Well, the people are actually setting up additional nodes and also multi-sig contracts for deployment of this contracts. So there is a work actually going on right now, a lot of it. So again, there may be the wrong audience.
I'm sorry, I was a little bit off. My DevOps has some issues, and I need to take care of deploying everything.
Yes, definitely understand.
Heads down, everyone.
I think we're like we can finish actually, but we still have questions on YouTube coming, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, let's. How about we sort of try to wrap it up, and let's just.
Ron, you have disappeared. Well, I can ask. Like I have some interesting questions actually on here. Lab has stolen all the Ton's technology. How to explain this to investors who have invested in this technology? Like, this is a great question. I love that. Man, are you serious? All blood. Are you really? Are you for real? Like, what the hell are you talking about, man? Anyway, guys, tell us more about the validation system. I wonder if it will be the same as EOS or Lisk. Where the mafia grabs the top and sits that. Well, this is my favorite question actually. No, it won't. Like, no. First of all, Ton is no delegated proof of stake system. Okay, you vote with your tokens, and that's it. On top of that, as Kostya told before, there is a design going on, design discussions going on around something that we call decentralized pools. And I think, we have a lot of input, and we will continue this discussion, all of us, on this design, but we already have implemented part of that, or main part of that, of decentralized pools. And the decentralized pools is to enable everyone to vote and participate in blockchain governance and validate, but without delegating your power to anybody else. And this is a very interesting concept. It's also been entertained, and actually Cardano blockchain, IOHK wrote some papers around that, but then there are others also. Of course, the Cosmos is also working on Liquid staking system. And so these are real discussions that go on many blockchains, proof of stake blockchains, because this is a paramount topic. It's very, very important to bring all the stakeholders, every token holder, not just the ones who can, put a large stake to the table, to the governance of the blockchain. That's what will make it truly, truly decentralized, more decentralized, in fact, than the proof of work blockchain. Deep pools are on our roadmap as a first thing, one of the first things that we want to for the community to develop, basically. So this is to your question. So no, it won't be like EOS or Lisk, never.
All right. With that, I guess we'll sort of wrap up. I want to just sort of make a final point. We've seen a lot of different questions, some of which I couldn't repeat. Here's the thing to take away from this. We made a public announcement about this as well, which you'll be reading shortly, but this is a decentralized launch. Decentralization is our goal. There is no central authority. There is no one person, company, or anything doing anything. This is all of us. This is a global effort. We want everybody to really think about how impactful that's going to be. We want to create a truly decentralized form of governance, if you want to call it that. And all of you are the contributors, not us. There are, I guess, maybe 5 or 6 different speakers that provided more monologue than anybody else. But the fact of the matter is, this is not for any one party. Please go to the site, become a part of it. Everything is going to be 100% transparent. It's also probably wise to mention the fact that 85% of the Freeton tokens are going to go to partners, 10% to developers, 5% to validators. So come on, we're waiting for you, and we really want you to be a part of this. We want you to make this a success. This isn't about us. I think that's my my final word.
Can I step in, guys, for a second? This is Alexander Filatov, CEO of Ton Labs. I just want to thank validators who made this launch of this network possible in such a transparent and decentralized manner. We're proud to be your partners in this. It's been an amazing journey in the last few weeks where you stepped in, penetrated the technology, signed the declaration. And again, I think this probably has been, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably this has been the most transparent and decentralized launch in the history of blockchain. Just proud to be partners of you. I think it's a start of a great journey, and looking forward to more milestones and success together.
Yeah, sorry, and I guess as a postscriptum, somebody asked, when is the network going to be open for more validators?
Yes, so already open. I mean, anyone who wants to run the node, they should run it on testnet first. I mean, in parallel of this betanet, it will be a testnet. And also when these DPools will be developed, I hope in a month. I mean, we already have a version of DPool, but I mean that it should have a community to discuss with community, to polish the design. Only later we can implement it. I mean, maybe a month, maybe 2. I can say the dates. And when they will be ready, validators who already be in testnet and will be approved, I mean that have some public traction, will join the second stage and will be a validator, already betanet 2.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I know I said let's wrap up, but I have to mention one thing. I don't know if anybody's aware, but we have a lot of individuals from Korea who are participating right now, who are on this chat. Guys, come on, we're waiting for you. Absolutely.
So I think that's it for today. Let's finish our first meeting in such a format. Thanks for coming and for listening, for watching us on YouTube and here on Zoom. And Freeton is here.
Let's open some champagne tonight after the hard work to celebrate.
Yeah, sure.
Not every day decentralized blockchains are launched. Thank you, dear partners and listeners. It's been
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.